Ooh. Lift that just a little bit. Hi, good morning or good day, good evening, wherever it is you're at. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time finding me, thank you for joining. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Hold on, you guys. Just having an issue. So I have an energy update for all of you. Hold on. Hold the phone. So let me just get the cards ready. The collective energy was telling me that there is a fear agenda being run right now. And it's time to speak on that and hopefully negate it quite a bit. I don't watch the news. I don't watch the news at all. I don't really do current events either. I just kind of do what I can in my environment and yeah, help what I can help and encourage what I can encourage and not buy into any fear agenda. So as I woke up this morning and I was being told this by the collective energy, I was checking my notifications and I did see someone had commented, I don't remember where at this point, to like be very, very careful there. And then they shared some stats about coronavirus, or I don't know. I don't know what the chemical warfare is at this point, what they're using this year. I'm assuming it's another bioweapon. Probably shouldn't have said that. My account's gonna get flagged. Probably shouldn't have said that. But anyways, yeah, you guys, the fear has to stop. You have to stop participating in the fear program. It's a program to initiate fear. And, you know, it's not necessarily to say that there's no actual infection going around because, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. As I was saying, it's not necessarily to say there is 0 cases of infection of whatever pathogen is being used, but it is to say that it's part of a program, okay? It is a part of a program. You notice every year, every single year, whenever there's a big, especially political type event, circumstance, whatever it is, there will be a health crisis. And there will be something that the world has to like be careful of because everyone's gonna get infected and die from it. Every year, swine flu, bird flu, Ebola. What is it? I don't know, you guys. It's just total. We live in an age where most, not all, but most of us have access to true nutrition. We just choose to continue to eat food-like products. If you really want to, develop your immune system and not be affected by pathogens to the degree that most people are, and the United States is horrendous for this, stop with the antibacterial stuff. Stop with the attempts to sterilize your home, because that's actually what's further suppressing your immune system, okay? You have these commercials where they're showing that you can spray a bleach solution near your food to disinfect. Okay, here's the thing, guys. If you're disinfecting your home, like say you're using Lysol, okay, we're going with brand names now. Lysol is a biocide. It doesn't discriminate between good or bad bacteria because there are good and bad bacteria. It's a biocide. Anything biological, it will kill it. It will kill it. And it leaves a residue. And so what happens, you're spraying this on doorknobs, you're spraying this on high traffic areas, that's what you're supposed to target, right? High traffic areas. And every time you touch that, you're getting the residue on your fingers, and then you eat something. You've just ingested biocide. Granted, it's not enough to kill you outright, but it will kill the microbacteria, the microbiotics in your gut. Your intestine is about 80% of your immune system. You throw that delicate balance off whack, you're in big trouble. And this comes from someone, no, I do not have a degree, but I am heavily medically inclined. My entire fucking family is nothing but doctors and nurses and nurses and nurses. Okay, medicine flows through my blood because of my Filipino heritage. Medicine is in my blood. Okay, I was groomed to be a surgeon from childhood. Get the fuck out of here. I have some understanding of the body and its systems. So what's going on now is that you have a population with an immune system that's been further suppressed, exposed to synergistic toxicity, all sorts of inflammatory food-like products. And then you wonder why you're sick. Vaccination ain't gonna help you, boo-boo. Is not. It produces a very unnatural response. Okay. So the whole thing, you know, if you really want to protect yourself, stop using antibacterial anything. And I'm someone who struggles with OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I am a germaphobe, working on that. I used to sanitize my hands, wash my hands with antibacterial soap. And this is in my house, okay, that I sanitize daily. And then after I wash my hands with antibacterial soap, I would take a disposable paper towel, turn off my sink, and sanitize my hands again. Okay, I was consistently sick. I stopped getting consistently sick when I stopped participating in that program. Wash your hands, eat proper foods, real food, not prepared food. Eat real food and watch your immune system get a little bit better, okay? I take grapefruit seed extract. I take olive leaf extract. It keeps everything at bay. Everything. It's potent enough to address RSV. And if you're in the medical field and know what RSV is, yeah. Confirmed RSV, 3 days, it was gone. Lungs clear and everything. We're so afraid that we're actually crippling ourselves. All right, guys. Let me get off the health tip. And okay, almost done. Almost done. So there's a fear agenda. Aside from that, I also do sense an uptick in the attempt to cause us to fear our ability to follow our path. This fear, it could present as, you know, doubts that you'll be able to perform perform certain things in the manner that it needs to be done, pay bills, really just crippling you from taking the leap towards whatever it is you think will grow you. You know, whatever it is you think will help you along your path. Okay, so I wanted to come out too. And you have to take that leap of faith, okay? You have to. No matter what happens, no, this is something that is going to further ripen your inner under and understanding of self and soul. Okay, stop being afraid of your process. Start believing in yours and your soul's ability to provide for you. Where's the other? That's the deck that's missing. Okay, we'll do this deck. I was like, there was another deck I wanted to use. I had packed it away. All right, I'll use this deck. So let's get started with the reading. All right. Yeah, tea tree oil is toxic, especially to cats. See what it is. See what it is. All right. Okay. Card number 12. Hex. Be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. This is what I was just talking about. This is literally what I was just talking about with the whole fear programming, the agenda. This is happening on a global scale, on a smaller community scale, like citywide. It's also happening within inner circles. Okay. Take, for example, you want to take a leap of faith and take a class or something like that, a spiritual course that that you feel will further your spiritual development, or I don't know. My brain is not fully here, but it's something you want to do, something for yourself that you feel is going to grow you spiritually. And you're about to take this leap of faith, and you know you're kind of questioning it a little bit just because you still have struggles with self-doubt. And you know, you go to someone and you ask them, like, do you think I should do this? Do you think it's going to be a good idea? And then they tell you, like, no, you shouldn't do that. Oh my gosh, why would you do that? It's such a bad idea. When in your heart you can feel it. This is something you want and need to experience, whatever it is. Well, do you really trust that individual? Is that individual really looking out for you? Do they have your best interest at heart? Or do they tend to be a person who becomes uncomfortable by your growth? Are they an individual that is afraid that if you grow too much, you're going to outgrow them and no longer have a use for them in your life? Which person are they? Are they someone that's telling you not to do it because they always look out for you and they see that this is going to be a huge mistake? Or is it the other kind of individual that they just cannot stand you outgrowing them? You have to discern that for yourself. Okay. For some of us, whoever is detracting from what we're trying to do, they are an individual who does care, who does pay attention and doesn't want you to repeat the same mistakes. For others of us, well, for many of us, there are individuals within our inner circle who really love to cripple you. It makes them uncomfortable to see you grow, to see you really begin to explore yourself, rediscover who you are, empower yourself, find a way to better provide for your own needs. There are people like that. And, you know, I don't know any people like that at this point. I'm very selective of who I interact with. And maybe this is a call for you to become more selective of who you actually allow within your space. It's said that the 5 or 6 people that you hang around the most, you end up becoming just like them. You end up pulling in their characteristics, okay? So I think for quite a few people that this is going to resonate with, this will be the other type of individual who just cannot stand you growing, your expansion, you rising, you becoming more powerful, more independent. With that, card number 32, trust. You have to be your own mother duckling, okay? You have to be your own mother duckling. You are very much protected. Look at that. Inside a clear shell, okay? You're very much protected. You do have a spiritual team that assists you, that looks out for you. All you have to begin doing is really allowing your higher self to guide you. That internal guidance is very, very important, or else you're going to fall victim to the whole fear agenda trap. It's just, that's kind of what happens when you're unsure of yourself and you don't rely on your higher self to guide you, to give you external confirmation and reaffirm that confirmation, then what ends up happening is you will look for people to either justify your decision. Well, no, to justify your decision. And your decision, whether you're cognitive of whether you're cognitive of it or not, your decision is one of two things: to push through and do it and find some way to justify this empowerment, this sense of empowerment, or revert back to a pattern of disbelief, disconnection, self-doubt, and find an excuse to support that belief that you're not enough, that you can't do it. You can't generate enough money. You can't get yourself out of a circumstance. You can't allow yourself to invest in yourself. And this investment in self, it can be monetary. It can be energetic. It can be emotional. It could be mental. It could be you really taking that stand and cultivating your environment by cutting out the people who are toxic. Okay, so it really, you have to make sure you begin listening to the guidance of your higher self. You really have to, or else you'll fall victim to this fear program. Okay, miracles on every level. Look at that, every level. Good things are waiting for you. Good things are waiting for you. If you are so focused on the path that you're on and something negative being put in your path, what ends up happening is you have your eyes trained on the ground the whole time. You don't notice the rainbows. Okay, you won't notice the rainbows. You won't notice the good things that life is trying to bring you. You won't notice any of that. If this is the way in which you've been existing, you have to begin stretching. You have to begin doing energetic spiritual stretches. These stretches prime you for consciousness expansion, going to the edge of your comfort zone, to the outermost boundary of your comfort zone, and pushing yourself slightly beyond that. It's a perfect way to begin priming your field for massive expansion. And this is kind of what the collective whole is experiencing at this point. This priming to prepare you to expand. Are you going to cooperate, or what is that sound? I don't know what that sound is. 80% at 8 o'clock. Or are you going to try and keep yourself shrunk down? Which one do you want? Do you want expansion or no? It's up to you. It's up to you. But there are going to be those who speak. They speak with a forked tongue laced with an illusion of crown energy. These are the people who, they sound spiritual. They sound like they have your best interest at heart. They sound as though they're coming from a logical place, but in reality, their tongue is split. It's forked. One half is truth. The other half is illusion and lies, full out lies. Which half are you getting? Both. That's what makes it so dangerous. A half truth is much harder to disprove than a full on lie. That's the agenda that's one of the tools that perpetuates the fear agenda. Okay, so you have to be careful what you're listening to. If you can't fully prove it definitively for yourself, not to other people, but for yourself, then what are you participating in? If you don't fully understand it and can explain it to yourself and have it make sense. I'm not talking about just, well, you know, Emmie said it, so it sounds good. It sounds good. You should always question everything I say. Y'all don't even know. I could be crazy. Crazier than you realize. You know what I'm saying? I could totally just be making this up. I could be like, yeah, I mean, I'm not, but you know, you don't just blindly trust someone. You have to question everything. And when people don't like it when you question things, And there's a difference between like questioning things to help you understand and questioning things because you're just a pain in the ass. Okay, there's a huge difference. There are those who like to question things simply because they think they know everything and they're trying to build a platform from which to launch their own verbal attack. Okay, because they want to prove they're smarter. Well, go on then. The truly intelligent have no desire to prove anything. They already know, and they don't need external confirmation or acknowledgement of the level of their intelligence. Like, I know how smart I am. I don't need someone to be like, oh my God, girl, you're so smart. You think? Like, I know what I know. I don't need to compete with anyone. I don't need to compare with anyone. Anything I don't know, I will learn it. I will figure it out and learn it. And however long it takes me, that's fine, because I'm going to invest that time in my learning. Is perfectly fine. And so if you have someone in front of you that is simply interacting with you to consistently interject, why are they in front of you again? You know, are you reflecting that need to assert some sort of verbal or intellectual dominance? Who knows? Who knows? You need to begin connecting the dots, okay? You need to begin going very deep into your own consciousness, connecting all those dots and seeing what it is you're needing to see. Whatever it is you're needing to see, it's something your higher self is going to be showing you, all right? It's going to be delivered to you in such a way where you will understand it. You will understand it. Right, Tara or Tara? We all crazy. We all are. Every single last one of us. Not even joking. We all are. I'm just not in denial of my cray-cray. Like, I understand it. I harness it for my own growth. All right. Ooh, hello. It's the booty card. I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers try to deny. Okay. This is wow. This is really, really wow. Card number 6, Epiphany. Reveal your gifts. Take the blinders off. Reveal to yourself your ability to provide, not just financially, not just food and shelter wise, but your ability to provide yourself the circumstance that will challenge you. Okay. I have gotten individuals who, several actually, who have had multiple correspondence with me, and they want to do my soul-based business workshop, and they're just afraid to take that leap to invest in themselves. It's time for you to have that epiphany. It's time for you to realize you will. If you really, really, really want this, you will. You'll make it happen. But the thing is, you really, really want it, but you're allowing your doubt in yourself to convince you that you can't. And it's not my job to convince you anything. It really isn't. It's not my place to try and convince you anything. You have to take that leap of faith and really invest in yourself. Invest the time, invest the effort. A lot of empaths have, as part of our fear programming for empaths, we have this fear that we won't be able to do something, provide ourselves with something, because there's so many other things we have to take care of. Well, what if this fear that you can't get, get the finances together to take this revolutionary step to better your ability to gain more financial stability? What if that's what it is? What if your ego is afraid of how much this program will inspire and empower you? Because once you hear these things, once you actually become cognitive and are exposed to the type of life that is an abundant life, and that's why I'm doing one in-person workshop where you can actually feel the way it feels when you open the gates of your abundance. What if it's that fear from your ego that it can no longer rule by fear? And what if that's what's keeping you from doing this? What if? What if? Because it's not cheap. It's not a cheap experience. It's not a cheap learning workshop. It's a workshop / retreat. This is reprogramming everything about you. This is reprogramming the way you see, the way you think, the way you feel about yourself, about your needs, about all of that. How empowering could that be? Hell yeah. An unbalanced ego is absolutely going to be like, no, you won't be able to do that. There's no way. There's no way. There is a way. There is a way. If you really want something, you will go for it. But if you're going to allow that empathic imbalance to continue to perpetuate, you will always put everyone else's needs before your own. I struggle through this too. There are certain things that I need to do and get done. And I'm like, oh, but I still have to do this and I have to do that. I'll do the thing for me after I get all of that done. But here's the thing, as an empath, that group of things I have to get done before I can actually address it's never going to deplete, because as I finish something and create space for myself, someone else will come along and they have needs too. And the empath in me is going to be like, okay, just one more person. Okay, well, that person is really, really in need. We'll just squeeze them in. We'll just squeeze them in. And whenever you squeeze them in, and this is not me complaining about clients, I'm talking about my personal life. Okay, I'm not talking about clients. I'm talking about my personal life. When you keep squeezing them in and squeezing them in, you're squeezing yourself out. You know, and it's very, very difficult for me personally, because how does, and the kind of mother that I am, how do I choose myself over my own children? You know, so for a long time it was like, okay, well, this child needs something else. Okay, well, let me just do this. And like 2 hours later, I'm like, I still haven't gone number 2. I've been holding this for 2 hours, and I'm like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna go boo-boo in my pants. It's that serious. It's really that serious. This is what we do to ourselves. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's because my kids have. No, my kids are very, very mindful of my needs. They are very, very considerate, very respectful, very loving. They're very they're a beautiful reflection of my desire to nurture them. They try and do that for me too. This is a choice I'm making. Okay, one more thing. And next thing you know, like I said, 2 hours later, did I even go to the bathroom? Holy crap, I didn't. Oh my God. And then my husband will be like, I go to the bathroom. He'll go, and I'm like, but so-and-so still needs something. And he's like, I gotta go bathroom. And I'm over here like, how do you do that? And he's like, I don't know why you be holding, go to the bathroom. They'll be fine. They can wait a few minutes. It's something within you. You can't blame anyone else, because you're making this decision. Okay. You are making this decision, and look how powerful that decision is. When you commit to something, you can make really amazing or really ridiculous things happen. Oh, and who can hold the freaking call of nature for 2 hours and not even realize they've been holding it for 2 hours? Okay. That's because once I have my mind set on providing something, whether it be a nurturing circumstance, a loving exchange, something empowering, whatever type of assistance it is, once I commit to it, I follow it through. Now, if I could just commit to myself, I could follow it through. The problem is that first leap of faith where you choose to commit to yourself. Okay. So for those who have been wondering, like, can I do it? Can I make it happen? Whatever made you think that you can't? Because you're so busy providing for everyone else. What if this one leap of faith? What if this moment of trust that a miracle is about to connect? Ooh, see how that works out? Okay, this reads as a sentence. It's time for the epiphany where you will trust that a miracle is about to connect. Wow. I'm just saying. I need a miracle. I do though. Release your fear. Release your need to deplete yourself just so you can accommodate everyone else. And what happens? Fulfillment. Fulfillment. So this fear agenda goes on so many different levels. This fear of some global catastrophe, this fear of even on your personal life, this fear that empowering yourself can somehow be bad, can somehow be a bad investment, because that's what this is. Life is an investment. It's a lesson in investments. What are you investing your time and energy into? Perpetuating cycles of depletion, lack of abundance. And this goes beyond money, you guys. This goes beyond money, okay? What are you allowing yourself to participate in? Which one is it? Which machine are you fueling? The machine that depletes you or the machine that propels you forward? We don't know, huh? Jesse, this is going to be in person. This is an in-person retreat workshop. I don't know how many seats are left. There were only originally 9 beds. Okay, it's going to be at a winery estate, and there's only 9 slots. Several of them are already taken up. But this is a profound thing. For those of you that don't know my backstory, my soul had been telling me that I had a specific path for my entire life. My soul has been telling me this, and I have been ignoring it. I've been actively avoiding it. And then my soul got tired of waiting for me to find the courage to step forward on that path. And so it decided to drag me. It forced me into a situation. It's just the weirdest shit ever. It forced me into a situation where I ended up living in a Walmart parking lot for 5.5 months. And that was a choice that I made. That was a choice that I made because the whole time I was there, my soul was like, all you have to do is what you're supposed to be doing. You'll be out of there. And I was like, no, I don't want to. No, there's nothing that I can offer people of any substance. There's nothing of worth that I'm offering people who would want to listen to me. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. I have no college degree. I chose not to finish college. There's nothing about me that's of value. And so what ended up happening, my soul was like, sit your ass in that parking lot then until you're good and ready. You know, we're not going to cave this time. You're not going to get your way. You're not going to have a tantrum. You're not going to hold out until we give in to your selfish demands of hiding. And so once I gave in to allowing the abundance to flow through, honestly, within a week, I was out of that parking lot permanently. Never been back since. Within a week. Minimal effort. And within a month, it was a 6-figure corporation I was running. I'm still running it. That was a few years ago. No business degree, no nothing degree, no certifications. I've never taken any classes on spiritual work or any of that. All of this was me getting out of my own way. You know, someone can be like, what makes you qualified? My life. My life is my certificate. My life is my degree. And so now, Soul had been telling me for quite some time that this is something I need to share because more people need to be removing themselves from this system of control, this fear program that we all exist within. And what this workshop will do, it will teach you exactly the path that I took so you can create your own path. I guarantee you, your soul wants to provide for you. I guarantee you that your soul wants to provide for you. You yourself are the one that blocks it. Because I did this to myself several times. I've had several businesses and my soul was like, yes, finally platform to put her out there. She needs to be seen. Whatever reason, my soul wants me to be heard by large groups. And every single time it scared me. It scared me. The first time years ago, early 2000s, having never taken any kind of photography class, never even held a professional camera, my husband took a leap of faith and believed in me. He bought me a Canon 5D, a DSLR. And he goes, you got this, do it. And I did. I launched my own mobile photography business. And this is not, this business became something huge. Something huge. My work has been featured in global publications, okay? And the next step was simply to move to New York and find myself an agency. And that scared me. So I shut my business down. It was a hobby that I ended up getting paid for. And I convinced myself, this is just a hobby. I'm not going to New York. That's crazy. These people know like the technicalities of photography, lighting equipment, all of that. All I know is like what I see in here, I filter it through here until I see it through here. And then when I see it through here, that's the picture, that's the shot. I still don't know f-stops, aperture, or any of that, but I can take one hell of a fucking picture. And then I hid away for a few years after that because that scared the shit out of me. It was so close because people kept contacting me for years after that, wanting to book me for, no, I'm sorry, I've retired. And then a few years later, I launched, without having taken any culinary course, I launched another company. Vegan, gluten-free truffles, chocolate truffles. Within 2 weeks of launching that, 2 weeks, okay, I sent a sample to a really good friend of mine in New York. For whatever reason, I don't know how I got an old address of hers. She hadn't lived at that address for years. It happened to be her sister's address. And it just so happened her sister, the day the package arrived, her sister had a guest come over. This guest is one of the largest restaurants in NYC. Huge. I'm not going to name the restaurant, but that was her friend. He came over for dinner. They're very good friends. She hadn't seen him in about a year. It just so happened he arrived that same day my package arrived at her house. So she calls her sister, my friend, and says, hey, you got a package here? My friend told her to open it, see what it was. It was a truffle. So my friend tells her, well, I'm not going to be at your place for a while. Just go ahead and eat it. Enjoy it for your guys' dessert. That bigwig, restaurant bigwig, wanted to schedule a meeting with me. After trying one of my truffles, he didn't even finish the cup. It's a little tiny cup. He didn't finish it because he brought it to his master chef, who is ranked top pastry chef in the world, teaches all the other chefs in the world because they wanted to recreate it for their restaurant. And he couldn't figure out how I did it. And so he had no choice but to contact me, ask me where I've trained. I was like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I do what my kids can eat. And he's like, you didn't train in Belgium, Germany? Where did you train? Nowhere. I've never taken a course. He wanted to plunk down a ridiculous amount of money and launch my company for me. And I said, no, it doesn't feel right. Because I was afraid to be seen. I was afraid to allow my abundance in. This whole fear program goes so deep, you guys. It goes so deep. And even with that, I turned him down. And within a month, maybe 2 months of my company being barely established, I got a call from the lead chef, the head chef at the Palms Casino. I was like, shut up. This is not the Palms. No, we'd like to schedule a meeting. We want to have a sampling. We want you to become one of our vendors. I'm just a stay-at-home mom. And so I became one of their vendors. And after I did a vendor order for them for one of a huge event that they were hosting, I closed my shop down. Why? Because of that fear fear programming. The fear goes down to the core. It goes down to the core. I might not have any degrees in anything, but I understand the algorithms that are used for this program. I 100% understand it. And because of my stubbornness and rebelliousness, I know how to overcome it. If I can't find a way around that algorithm, I'll bulldoze my way through. And now I'm releasing my fear. I'm not just a stay-at-home mom. I'm some sort of anomaly. And it's time I empower all of you to enter that state of being an anomaly, where you can no longer fit into this matrix of fear and control and separation and subjugation, where you can really empower yourself and free yourself, be financially secure enough that you don't have to work. I'm not rich. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not rich, okay? I am far from rich. But I am financially secure enough that I can help whenever my heart feels like it's the appropriate thing to do. I can help people. And this is why I'm not rich, because I give it all away. But I can help people. There's so many people who they're afraid to let others know that they need help. They're afraid that if others find out how much they're struggling, the shame that's involved in that. Not only that, I've lost enough of my fear of success, a return to my greatness, that my husband, who was the primary breadwinner for the past, I want to say 17 years, he finally was able to just be a stay-at-home dad, just like I'm just a stay-at-home mom. And our family stays together. And my children, because he sacrificed so much. He'd be gone, what time in the morning, come home, what time at night. You know, we lived in California for much of our lives. He worked in the Silicon Valley. He was doing the tech thing. And so the commute alone, 2.5 hours one way. And at one point before we left California, he was commuting something like 3.5 hours one way in traffic. And he would come home exhausted. My kids didn't really know him, not because he's not a good father, but because he was so exhausted. And now they're best friends. Our kids and their dad are best friends. All because I finally stopped being so afraid to my core of the fulfillment that occurs when I release my blockages. Wow. And there's nothing that's different about me that predisposes me to this that you can't achieve. You know, this is, everything happens very quickly. Once you get out of your own way, it happens very, very quickly. So here it is. The pressure of this life is squeezing you out of your hiding spot, okay? The pressure of this life is squeezing you out of your hiding spot. So many of us are hidden so deeply in our fear. So deeply do we hide our gifts. Because no one will understand, because people won't accept you, because this, because that. You're never going to run out of excuses as to why you can't and won't succeed in life. You're never going to run out of excuses. And it's not that you have to wait until you run out of excuses. It's what you choose to do in spite of those excuses. So what are you going to do? And this is, I'm not just talking about my workshop. I'm talking about your life. What are you going to do? Are you going to allow yourself to continue to believe in your limitations? Are you going to allow the people who are brought to you as controlled opposition? Because your soul can do that. Your soul does do that. It's not that it only can do that. It often does that intentionally to challenge you, to trigger old wounds, to see if you will choose to revert to an old pattern of being or stay on track and continue to implement these things that you've learned for yourself, these things that have grown you, expanded your consciousness. What are you going to do? Are you going to allow yourself to continue to expand? Or are you going to put like a spiritual waist trainer on, suck that bad boy in? Are you going to do that? Give yourself the illusion of a better aesthetic? Are you just going to embrace you as you are? Think on it. Think on it. Let's see. Ooh, this is good stuff, you guys. Ooh, if you are one of the people that had messaged regarding the workshop, and it's a very common fear. Like I said, it's a big investment in yourself. It's a big investment in yourself. Okay. If you are one of those people, I think this reading is giving you a very specific message. And what you will do with this information, I have no say, I have no judgments, condemnations, or any of that. But I want you to really open your ears, not just these ears, but the ear within your heart and your mind. Really, really open it up and hear what your soul is telling you, okay? Card number 30, serendipity, merge with the flow. Ooh, merge with the flow. Flow with it. See where that current will take you. And notice how the flow of water is called a current, just like the flow of energy is called a current. Hydroplasma is like liquid energy. That's abundance energy, okay? So card number 43, blue moon, the unexpected. Ooh-wee. The unexpected. I think for some of you, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You have this fear of not being able to do it. I think you're going to have a pleasant surprise coming. One that's really going to open your eyes to what it is you've been doing, how you've been allowing yourself to cripple yourself because of your beliefs and limitations, okay? Kathleen, go girl. Go girl. I'm just saying. See, what you wrote, I mean, this goes beyond my workshop. Like, this applies to life, to life. There's going to be a standstill as you take that leap of faith. Everything is going to suddenly slow down. Probably just like Kathleen, you're going to feel nauseous. You're going to feel anxiety, like, oh my God, what am I doing? Oh my God, what if I fail? What if I fail? What if you succeed? What if you succeed? I'm just saying, if you don't take that leap of faith, you're guaranteed failure. 100%. Whatever it was that you were afraid to do, when you don't take that leap of faith, 100% of the time, you will have failed at achieving that goal. That's a given. That's a given. So if you take that leap of faith, what if you succeed? What if you open the door just a little bit and suddenly the trickle of abundance becomes a torrent, a raging river that can no longer be held back? And that's kind of what happened to me on my journey. The whole intention of going live was just to generate enough money to pay for my brakes to be fixed on the RV. That it went insane. It went insane. It went insane. And the only reason I was pushed to go live to fix the brakes, and I could have done this at any point before that 5-month period was done. The only reason I chose to really just take that leap of faith was because I wanted so badly to get to Texas to help provide relief from the storms and the flooding. That was a couple of years ago. Southeastern part of Texas was flooded. Was it Hurricane Harvey or something like that? That was a big ass flooding scenario. And that's what got me to go live and take that leap of faith. My desire to help someone else superseded my fear of success. So maybe that's what you need to work through. Like, what could you do? What could you provide other people if you simply got out of your own way, created an environment where stability naturally happens, financial stability, emotional, mental, and then you're suddenly free to help other people the way your heart so desperately wants to do? What if? You have to center yourself. All right. Definitely, definitely center yourself. Get yourself nice and centered in your truth, in your heart space. When you exist in center, you don't have to try to balance. That's just a given. Balance comes with centeredness. It's a given. When you are perfectly centered, you will naturally have balance. You won't have to waste your time, your focus, your energy in trying to balance. Now, ooh-wee, this card suddenly is taking on new meaning. Usually I see this as a shadow aspect, trying to deliver information to the conscious mind. Today, I see this as you, your conscious mind, releasing the flow of energy back to your higher self, to allow your higher self to finally take the wheel of life, to take that wheel and to drive you to a place of abundance. Not abundance in fear, but abundance in hope. Abundance in a knowing that life is going to be okay. You will have everything that you need. You probably will even have in excess of what you need. And as people witness you experiencing life in its totality, finally, it frees them to inspire themselves to be free as well. That's huge. That's huge. That's a huge, huge deal. Oh, hold on. Here it goes. Here it goes. Let's pull some cards. Do 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 do. Okay, one more shuffle. Okay, one more shuffle. All right, that was the last. All right. Oh my gosh, this is a progression if I ever saw one. All right. All right, guys. Wow. Wow. The way these cards read: 24, 16, 17, 18, 97, 94, 44, 49, 87. So this is huge. 9, 7, 9, 4, 4, 4, 4, 9, 8, 7. Countdown to completion. I'm just saying. Okay. So card number 24, self-discipline. You're needing to really discipline your ego at this point, okay? You're needing to really discipline your ego. It's okay for the ego to exist. It's okay for the ego to challenge your level of comfort, to tell you, like, you really think you could do this? My ego says that a lot. Card number 24 is self-discipline. It's time for you to check that ego. Seriously, okay? Allow yourself to tell your ego, you know what, kind of just quiet down for a moment. I'm figuring some stuff out for life. So card number 16, protectiveness. Card number 17, pushing the envelope. Card number 18, arrogance. So you become very protective of yourself. You're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of how people will react to your truth, to your needs, to you stating your truth or your needs. And you have to push the envelope, okay? You have to push the envelope. You cannot coddle yourself. You can, but it's not going to grow you. It's going to cripple you. And here's the thing. The reason we're crippling ourselves for the most part, for those of us who struggle with this, we have a fear of coming off as arrogant. We have a fear of when we express ourselves and our truth as we know it, when we are able to acknowledge that, yeah, you know what, I'm good at a lot of things, that other people will see it as, you're just so full of yourself. You are conceited, you are this, you are that, a whole bunch of negativity. Well, here's the thing. This is what I recognized. The reason I'm able to state my realizations about myself is I finally realized all of that had nothing to do with me. Me recognizing my worth is simply about me recognizing my worth. And I have no say in how other people will interpret that, because there's a large number of individuals, when you recognize your worth and you verbalize it, acknowledge it, for them, hearing it detracts from their own worth. No, just because I think I'm amazing doesn't mean I don't think you're as amazing. I'm my own individual on my own path. You know, it's not that there's a finite amount of amazingness factor. And if I have a higher level of that amazing factor, then that means I've taken some amazing factor from you. Not at all. Not at all. So this is all part of a cycle that depletes your empowerment. Okay, notice the yellow coloring. It depletes energy from your solar plexus. And it's a progression too, 16, 17, 18. Okay. So the next set of cards is very, very, very interesting. Oh, okay. That works. Card number 7, enlightenment. Just like the Zetas, they thought that through all their manipulations, fear-based decisions, they thought they were going to save themselves and their race. And what ended up happening? It was because of those fear-based decisions that they really screwed themselves. And now their coding is so damaged, they can't sustain their own line. Okay? You are already enlightened. The entirety of humanity is an enlightened species, experiencing varying degrees of amnesia, varying degrees of self-doubt, self-oppression. What are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to be a part of the program that perpetuates this belief that by virtue of your birth, you are broken, you are a sinner, you are flawed, you deserve to suffer? If you want to grow yourself in some way, spiritually speaking, you need to live in poverty. Just a whole bunch of like ridiculous bullshit. A whole bunch of ridiculous bullshit. Okay? That ridiculous bullshit exists to further enslave you through guilt, through fear, through shame. Notice how our culture is. Notice how the human culture is. Now, I'm not talking about a regional culture. Okay, I'm not talking about a race, as in what we think of races like, Filipino, whatever. Okay, I'm not talking about that kind of race. I'm talking about the human race at this point. The human culture. If someone has any form of wealth that is financial, look at how everyone else looks at them. To their face, there's usually a lot of like ass kissing, okay? Like maybe if I'm nice enough, they'll give me some of that. But behind the person's back, there's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of that like, yeah, that person's greedy. I wonder who they had to screw over to get that wealthy, to become that successful. Well, some people do. Some people do that. Some people will trample all over others and take from others to further themselves along. And then there's other people who experience a sense of wealth, monetary wealth, because they get out of their own way. and their soul provides for them, and they didn't step on anyone. In fact, they're pulling other people up with them, empowering them, helping them to recognize their own shine, helping them to inspire other people the way they were inspired. There's all kind of different ways you can express this wealth. Okay, so allow yourself to be enlightened, to drop the fear and the shame of being successful. A lot of the blue rays, especially, because that's why they created the system, to crush the blue rays under the weight of the cost of existing on this planet. Let that shit sink in. As a blue ray, your ego functions the opposite of a normal human ego. When you have an ego flare, you shrink yourself, you diminish yourself. You choose to believe you're nothing more than what you choose to believe you are. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And that, it's not that you're broken. That exists for a very good reason. You need to have that level, that depth of humbleness in order to properly and responsibly harness the powers you naturally have as a part of your birthright. We can't have an egomaniac being able to harness energy in that way. No, you will never fix your ego. Your ego will always be that way. And you're going to have to learn how to temper that ego with guidance from soul. You're never going to get rid of that ego. It serves a purpose. It keeps you from becoming too focused on a human experience that you forget why you even came here. You are already enlightened. So with the blue rays especially, you're going to be going through a mental transformation, burning up all of this ugly belief this system has programmed into you. You're going to experience a period where it feels as though you can't remember things. It's a sense of secrecy. Why is this being kept away from me? Why this? Why that? Why can't I understand? Because there's a missing link. Look at how these cards, the numbers, look at the patterning. 4 and 9. Wait, no. What did I switch it? 9, 4, 4, 4, 9. 4, 4, 4, 4. That's such an elevated number of self. You are elevating yourself. And you are flanked by a 9 on each side. The number of God energy. You are being ushered towards your greatness by that God energy itself. What do you have to fear? What is it you're afraid of? That you're refusing your birthright, that you're refusing your abundance. What are you afraid of? You're protected by that God energy on both sides. You have a raising of both your masculine and feminine energies. This comes out to 8 and 8, which is then 16, which is then 7. You are complete. You're going through the process to complete yourself. And I think the missing link, the reason why we're so afraid is because all of this represents holographic healing. This whole process represents the healing of the wounds. And maybe because people are like, why wouldn't you want to heal? That's so weird. Why wouldn't they want to heal? Well, maybe because they've begun to identify as the wound. Their identity is the wound. To them, they are the wound. They're not just wounded. They're not just carrying a wound. They are the wound. And if you're going to heal the wound, you're going to erase their existence. You're going to erase their identity as they know themselves to be. Maybe that identity needs to be erased. Maybe that identity needs to be erased. Maybe it's time for you to really, really tap into who you actually are. Something beyond a wound, something beyond even human. something that's existed for quite some time in different ways, shapes, forms, levels. And maybe it's time for you to begin exploring that. But before you do, you have to take that leap of faith. You're going to have to take that leap of faith. You're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to free yourself from this matrix of oppression, control. 49% at 848. Yep. It's time. It's time. Okay. It's time for that divine feminine energy to rise. So 49%. 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 being that divine, delicious goddess energy. 848. And 4 being the number of self. 9 being the number of God energy. Okay. So you returning back to your God state. 4 and 9. You returning back to your God state. 848. The reunification. That point of origin where your masculine and feminine merge. Because if you look at, I got paper. Okay. If you look at the infinity symbol, right? Hold up. I need a different piece of paper. That was something else I was drawing. Here. We're about to go to school right now. We're about to learn. So, okay. This infinity symbol, right? That's infinity. It's also the number 8. If I choose to draw it in this way, hold on, so that's also the number 8, right? Turn it on its side. It is two consciousness meeting at center point, the point of origin, before the split. Right there. Okay. 49% at 848. 8 being the number of reunification, the number of coming home to yourself, the number that represents the masculine and feminine aspects of yourself, rejoining to become a formidable force. And what ends up happening, hold on, let me just report this real quick. There we go. Let me report all of it. Hopefully your account gets taken down. And for those of you in the audience, please do me a favor and report that as well. Report it. All of those comments, report it. So yeah, point of reunification. You are reunifying with your parts. You are reunifying with your abundance. You're creating that point of connection, that origin of your abundance. You're reconnecting with it. And so what's going on right now is you needing to recognize, really allow yourself to recognize what this fear programming is, what it's doing to catalyze your growth, your change. You know, look at all of this, you guys. Reveal your gifts, release, trust, serendipity, the unexpected, fulfillment, miracles, connection. You have to be centered in your core. All of this is telling you, even to this, the hex and the standstill, you're going to begin to identify who it is that's sabotaging your growth. It can be someone outside of you. It could be you. No matter what, this is something that you're going to need to have some stillness for and really allow yourself to see with clarity what this is about. Really allow yourself to see with clarity what is this about. If you are looking to finally free yourself from this matrix of control, finally become completely independent, you have to invest in yourself. Okay? And this is more than just having copious amounts of money to like pamper yourself and go to the spa or anything like that. Can you wait for me? Where are you going? Can you wait for me? Can you pelvic thrust one more time? There you go. Wow. You can do it. Put your back into it. Sorry. My husband's such a distraction. But invest in yourself. Invest in your energy. Invest in your mental health. Invest in yourself. As an empath, you're never going to have a moment where you're going to be free to choose yourself. You're never going to have, even people who are financially stable, they're never going to have enough to feel as though this is the perfect time for me to do this. You know, you're always going to have something in your mind that's telling you, well, I should use it for this instead. I should do this. This person needs that. And, you know, so you have to choose yourself. You have to make yourself just as much a priority as everyone else. And again, there will be those who will absolutely try and force you to see that you are so selfish. And yeah, are you selfish? Or do they just want to continue to control you? What is that? And whatever it is you're investing in, if you're planning to take classes, or if you're planning to get certifications, if you're planning to go back, you know, to school, or whatever it is, a career change, whatever it is it something that's going to eventually empower you? 45% at 854, 45854, mirroring, the self, number 4. 5 is change. 8 is that point of reunification, empowerment. 5 is change, and 4 is self. When you recognize the needs of self and you allow the change, you then open the door for the reunification of all your parts, a calling back in of your power that leads to change and creates a new self for you to walk this path with. That's freaking potent. That's freaking potent. Take that leap of faith. Whatever it is, if it's the workshop, if it's you needing to just really, I'm done with this job, I'm applying for another job. I mean, yes, you do have to think about, you know, financial obligations and whatnot, but you also have to make sure you're a priority. Okay? You have to make sure you're a priority. And if the setback is outweighed by the benefits once you take that leap, you have to consider that as well. Everyone's circumstance is different. Okay? Everybody has a different circumstance. For some people, that's not the right thing to do right now. Whatever it is, you have to wait a little bit. For other people, it's that fear. You're afraid of what this opportunity represents. It represents your freedom from all kind of stuff. 44% at 855. 44 is 855. Reunification rise that raised up. 88. 55 is change. 5 being the number of change raised upon itself. The numbers are repeating. That's amplification. That's amplification. 43% at 856. 4 being the number of self. 3 plus 8 is 11, divinity. 5 plus 6 is 11, divinity. 4 is the self being led back to its state of divinity. You guys, I'm just saying. These numbers keep talking. They're just going to keep talking. They're just going to keep talking. It's time you start hearing. Start hearing it, okay? Invest in yourself. Release the fear. If you're going to invest your energy in perpetuating the fear, then you're not going to have enough to manifest anything. That's just kind of a given, okay? That's why they need you constantly in a state of fear. It depletes you. One of my children, well, one of the children that I work with, they have struggles with their parasympathetic system. And what ends up happening when that child gets triggered emotionally, they really, really get triggered. It's like they have minimal impulse control, minimal self-regulation ability. And what ends up happening, if they cry, even if it's for like a 5-minute crying thing, then they end up falling asleep. And you know, the parents were like, what's going on? Do they have narcolepsy? And I'm like, they just went through a massive fight or flight response. They're depleted. And this is why the way our culture is, the human culture, we're consistently being run through a fight or flight program. Let that sink in. If you're consistently having fight or flight, you are consistently depleted. Consistently depleted. Stop being afraid. It's that simple. And when you do feel afraid, you say, why am I afraid? What is it about this circumstance that scares me? And actually answer yourself. You don't have to tell the answer to anyone else. Actually answer yourself. See what's causing you to feel fear. And more likely than not, you're afraid of being successful. You're not afraid of the failure. You're afraid of being successful and people recognizing you, and then you can't hide anymore. And when you can't hide anymore, you can't make any more excuses, right? Most people, that's what you're actually afraid of. You're afraid of the success, not the failure. The failure is the crutch. The failure is the excuse that makes you feel like, well, no, what if I fail? Because how silly would it sound? What if I succeed? Oh my God. I'm laughing at myself. Like, girl, I can't believe how many years, how many businesses did you close down because of this shit? Okay, you guys, I gotta run. Today, I'm not gonna be coming live this evening or tomorrow. I usually do expedited requests on the weekends. I have some things I have to take care of. I'm not going to be coming live the whole weekend for expedites. But in exchange for that, I'll see what I can, I guess, I don't know if we could just put the whole website a discount or specific things. I don't know. My brain's not fully functioning. It's been a really challenging week. So I'll figure something out, and I'll make posts on all my social media platforms. And if you were needing something this weekend, an expedited request, hopefully whatever flash promotion I can think of will take care of that need, okay? I do have the option of private ClairTarot readings. You can get a recorded one where you just tell me what you want me to focus on, and I record it. And that you don't have to wait for my schedule to open up. I usually am able to get that out within a few days. So if it's just a ClairTarot reading, you might have that option. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, guys, I got to get going. I hope everyone has a beautiful, beautiful day. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, please do. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. Bye, guys.